But my name is Mike Wiggins. I'm the head soccer coach up at Central. For the boys, I do coach girls soccer up there too. But what we want to do here today is make a couple of announcements, go over some guidelines, things that you need to be aware of. I will take you, in my role, I'll take you through some things that will get you through the logistics of, will get you through a practice under these new, I guess, the new routine, the new way of doing things that will not only ensure safety, but also make the most efficient use of your time. And so I'll take you through all of that. But before we do that, I'll have Liz just talk a little bit about some things that she needs to be aware of. And so if you could give her a nice round of applause. A lot of work has gone into everything that we've been doing. And so
thanks, guys.
She'll talk about a couple things right now.
Well, thank you all for being here today. I'm just going to leave my mask down so I can talk to you a little better. I'm Liz Smith. I'm the Regional Commissioner for AYSO 210. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for your willingness to be a part of this program for our kids. One thing that I always like to stress is that, number one, we're a team, and it takes every single person, every single component in order to make this team function and provide a supportive, nurturing, fun environment for our kids. And you guys help do that. You help present this program. And so we're very thankful for your time and your efforts and the quality that you bring to this program and your commitment. The other thing that I want to stress is that AYSO soccer is not just about soccer. It's an opportunity for us to impart our values to our kids. We have a lot of successful people in this community. And when I say successful, I mean people who have suffered and persevered, people who have worked hard, people who know that kindness counts, people who spend their time helping their families, their kids, and their communities, people who invest in others. That is a successful community. We've run this program for 40 years, and we've had many great families and many great kids come through this program. And they're better people and better leaders and better equipped for the future because of your investment in this program. And that's one of the strengths that you bring to this program. You may not have all of the soccer experience that a professional would have, but you have life experience as a successful person, persevering through hard times, having grace, having patience, and presenting those qualities and the model of your life to our kids. And so that, to me, is a huge part of our program and the purpose and mission of AYSO and why our program is so important for every child in our community. The other aspect of our community that I really love about AYSO is that it's for all kids. And I forgot to mention this in our prior session, but because of the donations that we received last spring when we had cancellations, a lot of families donated their fees. We're able to supply and support and provide scholarships for those families that are hurting this time, for people who have lost their jobs and need extra help. We have funds to help them. And that's not something that is able to be done for a travel team experience. This is something that our community supports with our own vision, our own time, our own resources, and we give this to our families and to our community so that every child has an opportunity to play with us. And so that's amazing, and thank you all guys, so much for being a part of that mission and that vision for our families. I just want to say a couple things quickly. After Mike is done speaking, I'll talk to you about games. We had some really great questions about game days. I'll reiterate a few things from him. But he's going to go through the basic points about what to do during a practice, how to conduct yourselves, and how to help the kids maintain their spacing. So this year we're going to have reversible jerseys, and one side is red, one side is blue. Every child will need to wear their jersey to practice and to their scrimmages. This will help you so that you can reorganize on the fly. Every single team in our league has the same jersey this year except for U19, so that we can, use the same colors. We're all unified. We're all going through this experience together. It's for maximum flexibility. So I'm going to turn things over to Mike, and let's give Mike a round of applause. We can't do this without him. We're so thankful for his help. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through how to start things off, considerations, things you should consider. I'll take you through a starter practice over here. That is also what scrimmage can look like. I've got a station set up down there. We'll walk over there briefly. I'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. I've got a station set up over here. I'll talk about what that looks like. And then all along the way, hopefully give you some ideas that will help with transition, organization, considerations that are just slight adjustments that you would make from maybe what you've done previously, or if you're new to this coaching, you just get introduced here to the way things are done, and that's what we want to make sure we take care of. So with regards to the masks, let's just talk about that first. Adults coming to the field, including coaches, masks. The kids, remember that if they are in a static situation and social distancing cannot be maintained, they've got their mask on. Dynamic, scrimmage, constant movement type exercises and activities, they can be masked off. So what I want to do is I want to try to give you some ideas and things to think about as you're structuring your practices, so that you can be in a better position to avoid having to referee the mask, and you can spend more time refereeing the game, teaching the kids, and creating a fun experience. Because I think the one thing probably all of you would like to avoid is the constant, barking at you're not doing what you're supposed to, get your mask on, you got to remember, the kids are going to constantly go back to what they know, what they prefer, what's comfortable, and that's not always going to be in line with what's okay. So if I can put you in a better position to think about some things to tweak what you're used to doing, so that you can spend less time on, constantly telling them what they're doing wrong just with the masks, you'll be a lot happier, and so will they. All right, so that's kind of what I'm trying to get, hopefully I'll get to. So let's start off and let's talk a little bit about what it's going to look like when they arrive. So parents drop them off, the kids are coming to your field, okay? I'm going to give you two ideas to consider at the start of your practice, okay? What I've got here, and you can just look at it right here, I've got 8 cones laid out right here. So there's 4 green ones that are in a row right here. You're kind of in and about it, and it's fine. You can stay where you are. I've got 4 yellow ones right here. I've got 4 green ones right here. It's a box of 8 cones, okay? The cones are all spread out, socially distanced. This is a great option for attendance and organization at the very beginning of practice that you might choose. And it also serves as a great option for having a place for the kids to drop their stuff off. And if they're going to go to a water break, they can go over to their spot and sit down, okay? Now, I just spent an entire summer doing camps all over Chicagoland. We saw over 500 kids in locations all over the place. And this is a great idea. What you do need to pay attention to it. Because this kid here and this kid here, they're friends. See, this is what you don't get with the mask. And they think it's funny to mess with each other. And then they do that. And they want to take the water bottle. And okay. So my point is, less downtime is going to make you really happy. Less downtime for them is also a good thing. So if you have them come over, make it a brief pit stop and then get them back. But it's good to have stuff spaced out so that they've got a place to go to. And the other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do somewhat of a waterfall type of a dismissal and return. Because they will, leaving an exercise and going over, they might start off leaving like this, but when they're walking over to their spots, they're going to be like this, okay? So, you two, head on over, go get a drink. You two, you may head on over and go. You go, you go. Some sort of staggered dismissal and return is going to help ensure that social distancing that needs to take place. Next thing, so take your attendance, have a coach that's designated to do all that, but I realize and I understand that your teams are not made up of 8, okay? I understand that. You might have 16, you might have 24, 25, okay? So I laid out this for you to give you a visual of how it might be a good idea to have 2 of these or even 3 of these at your practice location. So you're obviously going to have it. You're going to have at least 2, if not 3 people that are going to be helping with the practice. Have one coach here, set up another box just like this over there by that station. Have another one over there, and this will serve as a great way not only for you to keep things organized, keep things spread out, but also what you're doing is you're preventing a mass gathering from taking place by having small groups already spread out upon arrival, especially on that first day. So one of the things that I did this summer, it's not always going to be practical for you guys, but maybe if you let your families know that you're going to have 3 coaches, one coach is going to have a red shirt, another coach is going to have a white shirt, another coach is going to have a blue shirt, whatever. Have those coaches, the blue shirt coach, maybe you email the families and say, okay, last name's A through H, you're going to the blue coach, whatever. It's just going to make things easier for them to go where they're supposed to go, and it just prevents that mass gathering, even if it's just the first day. But in any case, that would be one way that you could start off your practice. The other one would be have them come to your practice and let them start scrimmaging right away. So, for example, you can still have your setup of cones, still have them arrive, drop stuff off, but then have them go out to a field right away. Have a coach out there ready to go. Now, follow me on this. Red cones, and a soccer ball. You see that right there in the middle? That would be one field. Okay? Now, guidelines are very clear. One ball and a scrimmage. Those of you that have heard me talk before in past years, I always say, in a normal environment, that you have extra soccer balls available, so if a ball goes too far away, the kids can grab the nearest ball and start play again. One ball and a scrimmage. That's it. That means if that ball gets sent all the way over to the fence, go get it. You get one ball. Scrimmage there. 3-on-3. No more than 4-on-4. 8 right there, 6 to 8. I staggered another field here, 3 on 3, 4 on 4. There's another 6 to 8 right there. Staggered another field over there, 3 on 3, no more than 4 on 4. There's another 6 to 8 over there. If you can set up 3 fields to start your practice, you just bring the kids out. You just have them self-organize to start the practice. And the coaches can just kind of be out there to make sure that they're okay. You will be surprised how easy it is for kids to self-organize and get started in a scrimmage. You don't have to be overbearing. You don't have to tell them where they need to go. In the beginning, in the first couple of practices, you might have to show them how to do it, but once they start coming, they'll get it going. For example, the first 2 kids that show up, and you're here to greet them, check off for attendance, head on out. Coach is out there, you can start playing right away, go. You just made their day. You get to scrimmage right away. So one kid says, all right, I'm gonna go put my ball down at my spot. You take your ball, let's go. Now there's the ball for that field. They play one-on-one until the next kid comes. Okay, hi Sarah, good to go, head on out. You can go join your buddies over there. They go over there. Now, they might agree that they're gonna play 1 versus 2 until the 4th kid comes. Let them do it, it's fine. Let them figure that out. Next kid comes. The kid that's by themselves, you're with me, come on. 2 on 2. Coach is out there supervising. You're here, making sure everyone's got all their stuff. Next kid comes, check them off, send them out. And they will organize that, and that is how you can get the kids playing right away, get them out there, get them organized with their stuff, drop their stuff off, you're good. Once again, so I've given you 2 choices. You can sit them down and just have them wait. For some people, that's a very therapeutic way to start their practice, because the chaos is about to start. But I would also suggest that you could do that for a little bit, but the second option would be drop off their stuff and get them out and let them start practicing as everybody's starting to arrive. All right? So, that would be a little bit about how you start. So, 15 yards, 15 yards, 15 yards. That's what I've got. That's the visual I'm giving you right now. The older the kids are, the more you can stretch that out. 20, 25, 30. This is plenty for the little guys. Plenty. No goalkeepers. Let them play. Goal has to be scored knee-high or lower between the cones. Perfect. Let them play. No coaching. First 10 minutes of practice. Don't coach. Supervise. Keep them safe. They're good. Easy. Okay? So, as you go through your practice, if you take the first 10 minutes to just let them settle in, get organized, take attendance, make sure you got that accurate, send them out, let them play. When you're ready, you could probably have them go back to their cones where they've got attendance set up. And again, you might have 8 kids here. You might have another attendance spot down there with 8 cones, and you might have another one over there set up, 8 cones, and they're all set up and they've got all that. Take about 5 minutes to get a water break. You now have 45 minutes left within an hour practice. And now you can go 15-minute station, 15-minute station, 15-minute station, and you're done. In and out. kids always have the option to wear the mask during practice. They can do that if they want, okay? General rule, when social distancing cannot be maintained, they have to have their mask on. If they are in an activity that has them standing by each other and they're closer than 6 feet, gotta have the mask on. If it is a scrimmage, a fluid, dynamic activity, that's where the mask can be off. Having it like this might be convenient for them to do this if they need it, but my suggestion would be they should have it handy. Might just be helpful for you. Adults, families, parents coming to the field have to have it on. That's just the deal. Agree or disagree, they have to have it on. Coaches, same thing. Have it so that you can, sorry, I'm talking a lot. Have it on when you're coaching. Have it on when you're coaching. Now, I've got a scrimmage station here. So they can start practice with a scrimmage, and then they get to rotate through a station to scrimmage. One coach, their group, they go to that station. Another coach, activity station, they're at that station. Another activity station, another coach, good to go. 15 minutes, that coach brings their group over here. They go from activity to scrimmage, rotate 15 minutes later, scrimmage to activity. That takes you through the hour, okay? All right, follow me. I want to show you what I've set up over here now with this activity station over here. And if you guys want to just come right over here, kind of facing the yellow cones here, that's good. All right. Okay, so this setup that I have here is an area of activity, and just the example that I'm going to give you here is it's a dribbling activity of some sort. Okay, you can do just about whatever. So it could be red light, green light, sharks and minnows. Call it what you want, but the kids are starting on one side of the grid, trying to get over to the other side of the grid. At another point in time, go back a year, we would say, find your own place on the line, anywhere you want, and when I say go, you're going to try and get across without the shark taking your ball away. If they do, you become a shark. Sharks and minnows. Well, at that point in time, it didn't matter. They could stand right next to somebody and be fine and get across and whatever. The little change that we make here now is starting point, starting point, starting point, starting point, starting point. Okay, the kids start at a cone and they finish at a cone. They don't have to start at the same one and finish at the same one across. They can start here and finish over there. They can start here and finish in the middle. They can pick whatever one they want to go to. Now, the significance of that is you're promoting problem solving and decision making while helping to keep them socially distant at a starting point and at a finishing point. And what you're also doing is by having them go to a cone, you're giving them a visual space that they need to attack and get to instead of just an open-ended area. So for example, ready, get, set, go, and they start dribbling. If I were to say you got to start here and end there, their options are really limited. And you taking away any creativity, problem-solving, decision-making that they might have. But as a defender or as a shark in this activity, and I'm trying to get to this player and take their ball away, when they realize that there's open space over there, they pick their head up, they see me, they look, they take a touch, accelerate into the open space, and as they're dribbling over here, they realize that there's an open cone over here, they turn, and they get over here. They're navigating time and space. By encouraging activities and exercises that promote decision making, you're also developing creativity, you're developing speed of thought, speed of play, first touch, skill on the ball, control, and you don't even have to talk about it. You're just setting that up. But the nice thing about this is they're automatically spaced out, they finish up spaced out, so that when they get to the cone and they're waiting for the next round to start, they're already spread out. You don't have to worry about saying, you guys, you're too close, put your masks on, you're too standing around, you're not. You want to avoid refereeing the mask, and you want to be able to referee the activity, to teach the activity, to find the teachable moment, to emphasize the coaching points. Because as much as we have all of this going on and everything else that goes with it, we don't want to lose sight of what the reason is why you're out here. And that is to create a really fun environment that creates positive experiences, that gives the kids an opportunity to not only love the game, but want to come back and play the game. And so again, this is just one suggestion that I have that you can do. It puts the kids in a safe position and puts them in a position to succeed. All right? So, you might have more than 5 in your group. So obviously add a couple more, whatever you need. You probably don't need to add too many more, but you're probably going to want to have, obviously, probably the most you'd have is 8 in a group. All right? All right, so station. You want to turn around and look over here. I've got a third station set up here. All right, so this one that I've got set up here, I've got these small goals set up that are gates. Gates, G-A-T-E-S, gates. Open the door, close the door, gates. So the nice thing about the gates is this is a dribbling exercise again. It can be used as a passing exercise where 2 people are working to go from gate to gate and connect a pass through the gate. So it could be a passing and receiving activity, but it starts off as a dribbling activity. And when you start the activity, with the players at the actual gate. Okay? 30 seconds. Dribble to as many gates as you can. And then let me know how many you got when I say time. I would recommend that once you get towards the end, last 5 seconds or so, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and by the time you get to 0, they should be at a gate and they should be stopped. Once again, ending the activity the way you started. Kids are already spread out, and then you can start asking them what they got, in which they are going to proceed to all lie to you because they want you to think that they're the best. And the younger they are, the bigger the liar they are, and the farther they're willing to go to lie. Because there's no way the 5-year-old got more than 50, 5-0, even though you say, how many people got more than 50? And they got their hands so high. But those of you that have heard me talk before, you know that at 5 and 6 years old, effort equals ability. They want you to know that they gave their best. So of course they got more than 50, even though they probably got like 5 and maybe 4 in 30 seconds. So it's not the number, it's the fun, it's the excitement. It's you guys as coaches saying, come on, let's do this again. Let's see if you can beat your last score. Are you ready? Let me hear you. All right, are you ready? They're going to say, yeah, all right, let's go. Ready, get set, go. And they're moving around. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, get there. Okay, good. All right, how many people got 100? Raise your hand. I did. So you've got the idea, starting point, ending point. And again, this should be an activity where there's enough dynamic movement and enough social distancing when they're stopped that they can have a mask off. It's just when you find yourself in a situation where if they are standing close to each other and you're giving any kind of instruction, they have to have their masks ready to go. Station, activity station, activity station. I'm basing that on the larger side. So if you've got 24, 25 kids, 8, 8, and 8, 24, 8, 8, and 9, whatever. Set up your cones for attendance, water break. Start off practice either by taking attendance, making announcements, and then sending them off, and then maybe you could go 20-minute, 20-minute, 20-minute station. You can choose to go check in attendance, let them scrimmage. Right off the bat, everybody, call them in, give them one last water break. Field 1 stays over there for scrimmage. Field 2, go to station 2. Field 3, go to station 3. And they're off and they're running and they go. You're going to find that this station approach with the coaches you have in camp practice is going to be just like a camp, and the time is going to fly. It is going to fly. Another coach in the last session asked me, they said, could we do it a different way? Could we have our head coach in the middle, the assistant coaches leading the same activity, stop in between, coach gives a demonstration, they go back to what they're doing, attention back to the coach, set an example, back to activity? Absolutely, that's totally fine. How you design instruction, that'll work for you. It's mainly the, do you know that as the coach you have to have the mask? Do you understand that the kids have to have the mask when they cannot be socially distanced or if they're static? That when they play it can be off, they can scrimmage, it can be off. One ball in a scrimmage. Somebody asked previously, what about throw-ins? Substitute that, just to make it easier, substitute that with a kick-in. Ball goes out of bounds, they bring it over, just stop it, make a pass. I usually tell kids, when they make a pass, if they make it a back pass in a scrimmage away from the goal they're scoring, then that's a free pass. If they play it in the direction of where they're trying to score, it can be stolen right away. Make sense? So on a kick in, it's free if you pass it back, that no one can steal. You're saying we're gonna go safe. If you're gonna try and get a good one in there right away and try and score, they can try and steal it. So free if it's a back pass, live if it's in the attack. Just something to consider. That's a pretty good starting point, I think, for a lot of the stuff that we're talking about. But in all likelihood, there's probably going to be some questions. So as we're wrapping it up here, Liz is going to talk about a few more things that are house cleaning type things to kind of get you a little bit closer to being ready. I am going to be here for as long as you need this morning. If anything comes up and you've got questions, I always give the option if you want to email me for exercises and activities that are age-specific, research-based, appropriate activities. If you want that, you would email me, and it's very easy to remember. It's all spelled out. It's 5-star camps with an S, 5starcamps@gmail.com. So FIVESTARCAMPS@gmail.com. In the subject line, just tell me the age group that you need, and I will send you exercises and activities. And then you'd also have my email if in 2 weeks you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got the sweats and you thought that you were having a practice where they were all like having a big group hug or something, and you're like, they didn't have masks on, what do I do? How do I do? You can always email me. You'll have access to getting in touch with me, and if you've got a question about how maybe to handle something, I'm more than happy to respond and help you with whatever you need. So that email's not just for the exercises, it's also if you're struggling or if you're trying to figure out a new way to do something, I can be accessible to you. So I'll be here. Thank you for all that you're doing. And Liz will go over things one last time here, but thank you and good luck.
Thanks so much, Mike. He's been a really valuable part of our program, and so we're really thankful to have his interaction and his availability, as busy as he is. I just want to go over a couple more things just to reiterate, and then I'll answer questions as they come up. One thing that we didn't talk about is that with the reversible jerseys, they are red on one side, blue on another. Some kids might want to wear a little tank top or a t-shirt under it in order to pull their shirt off and switch. So that may be something that you want to consider in a note to your parents saying, please wear your reversible jersey at practice. We are not allowed to use pennies this year. We can't have any shared equipment. So if you want to wear a little tank top under your jersey, please do that so that you can easily switch your color depending on how the coach needs to divide up the players, and if you need that feature at your practice. The other thing is that if you need goalie gloves, each child who wants to play goalie has to bring their own gloves or not use them. We cannot share goalie gloves. So when the children come to practice, you'll have one person designated to take attendance. You complete that, the kids can sanitize their hands. You have a bottle of sanitizer in your ball bag that is safe for hands and equipment. You've each got a bottle of Zep. So it's an ethanol-based alcohol item that is safe for skin and for your equipment. Okay, so white cones. We're using those for our attendance and spacing cones. So when you come to practice, you'll have your station set up. You will use the white cones as the station where each individual child will put their water bottle and their hand sanitizer, whatever they bring with them, will be at their white cone station. You can mark it with their name and a black pen if you want to. You're not required to do that. But if it helps you to keep track of everybody and where they're supposed to go, then you can mark their name on their white cone. For game days, You all will have 1 or 2 fields based on your team size and whether you are playing 4s, 7s, 9s, or 11s. So if you're playing 4s, for example, if you've got U6, and you'll be at Robins A and B, depending on who you have show up for your game, which will be 1 hour, and you'll split it up among your team, maximum size of 25 kids per team. You'll be splitting up the kids, balancing and rebalancing your teams as you need to in order to keep the play fun, interesting, and competitive. So that's where they'll want to flip those jerseys and wear them so that you can have them join either the red team or the blue team. And you'll have 2 fields together so that you and your assistant coaches can manage that process together and split up the kids. For health issues, when in doubt, just play it safe. You're not sure about something, email me, ask me about it, commissioner@aysohinsdale.org. There's a lot that we still don't know, so if you're concerned about something, ask, and just err on the side of being more conservative. Are there any U5 coaches here? Any U5? Okay, great. So if you are a U5 head coach, you'll have one of these books to pick up today. No, you're not? Okay. So this has a curriculum in it, and for U5, they meet every Saturday. They meet once per week. It's our schoolyard program. They'll each have their own marked field according to their letter, and it's from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Okay, are there any questions?
Liz, I have a question.
Yes.
In terms of the jerseys, are those in the coach's bag? Do they just get them out?
Okay, so the question is about jerseys and whether the jerseys are in the coach bag. The jerseys have not been delivered yet. They've been ordered from store. So we'll be getting those in about a week or so. They'll come in before our first game day. They'll come into my house, and someone designated from your team will come and pick it up. So I'll announce it as soon as they come in. Any other items? The first game, it'll be the Saturday after Labor Day. I think it's the 12th, September 12th. Yes.
Are you recommending electronic whistles? Is that, I don't know.
We're not necessarily recommending electronic whistles. We're recommending that you, if you have a whistle, you may use it, but it's not shared equipment. You know, you can make that choice as a referee to vocalize and just say stop or use a whistle. I think the job of referee is a very dynamic one. So, you know, generally you're not standing around next to the children. It'll just be your job to maintain that social distance. You know, for example, I'm standing away from you all. I've got my mask pulled down. Under Illinois standards, that's acceptable. That you can talk to them, but if you need to be close to tie a shoe, to handle an issue, you've got your mask here, you're putting it on as required. Anything else?
The first practice would be that week before the first game, right?
Yes, so first practice, if you have your practice field set up, you can start practicing this week. You'll need to communicate with your families, let them know who you are. You'll need to communicate with your other coaches. If you have not heard from somebody about your practice, it's because we do not have that somebody in place yet. We are still down a number of DCs, and I'll send out another message about it. We still need administrative help to keep our league going and to get those kind of administrative functions flowing and handled in a timely manner. Right now it's flowing through me, and as a full-time parent, it does slow us down. So if we have those extra hands on deck, that will help out a lot in terms of getting those practice times set. Basically what I did is I sent out a Google form for people to fill out for any section that we did not have a DC. So make sure you fill that out, and as we get coordinators, we'll have people reach out individually to our coach groups to help set that up and facilitate that. Great question.
But the first one's the week after, the week after Labor Day.
The first practice can start as of August 31st.
I got it.
Any other questions? All right, great. Thanks, guys. You know, feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you so much for your time and your efforts and for being a part of this program for our kids. We just, we can't do it without you. So we're very thankful for your presence and your help. And have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.